I got it. All right, looking out over Killeen's airport, they put the flags back up, but they're hardly moving this morning. Not as much of a wind chill factor, in fact, non-existent at Killeen's airport right now because winds have died down. So that's the good news. Yesterday, there's like a 10-degree difference in the feels like an actual temperature. So this morning, winds are down, but we're colder temperature-wise, so right below the freezing point in Killeen. Most of the viewing area going to get a light freeze early this morning. We have not hit our lows for the viewing area just yet. Under clear skies, I could see the stars on the way to work. We had a full moon. Did you know that? First full moon of the year. Peaked late last night. I did see that before I went to bed. 22 is what it feels like in Waco, by the way, right now. 32 over in Hearn, 27 in Gatesville. So very chilly start to the day. We're going to see cloud cover pumping into the area from the southwest. From what I can see, no rainfall for today, but like I said, cloud cover will be the case in comparison to what we've seen the past 2 days or so. We hop up slightly higher than yesterday. We'll be in the middle 50s, about 56, 57 in the 3 o'clock hour under mostly cloudy skies this afternoon. But the good news being, hey, it's not going to be windy, so it won't. We won't have a wind chill factor this afternoon either. It will feel pretty nice there for a brief few hours. All of your 7-day forecast. Well, don't let this pretty image fool you. It is feeling like nice and cold in the 20s. We are sub 30 degrees, some of the viewing area right now. So how much are we going to warm up today? When are we possibly going to hit 70 degrees? When are the rain chances in the 7-day? And when do we absolutely fall off a cliff temperature-wise? Yeah, all of that. I will cover it here in a few minutes in the 7-day. Wind is not up today. I'm always thankful for that. I lived out in West Texas for a while, y'all, and I escaped the wind. So when it's windy here, I'm like, I don't want this. This isn't why I came here. No, yeah, so winds are down today, but temperatures are also down right below the freezing point in Killeen right now, 31 degrees. Here in Temple, we just dipped down into the 20s. So 20s is what it feels like, and some of us dipping down actually into the 20s temperature-wise. A widespread light freeze this morning under clear skies, though. The moon is still big and bright and beautiful. If you didn't get to check it out before you went to bed, it was our first full moon of the year. Winds virtually non-existent now and will be this afternoon too, a non-issue. Clouds sneaking in here, I would say by mid-morning. We're partly cloudy skies and then mostly cloudy skies after that. So clouds will be sneaking in even though it's mostly clear right now. Temperatures situate some of us in the 20s, the rest of the viewing area in the low to mid 30s this morning. 30 Georgetown, 28 Temple, 27 Gatesville, and 34 Meridian for right now. 24-hour temperature change shows some of us up to 10 degrees colder than yesterday at this exact time, but we don't have the wind chill factor, so thankful for that this morning. I mentioned that clouds are going to sneak on in throughout the day today, but no chance for rainfall. Only precipitation chance across Texas is going to be south of San Antonio, down towards the Gulf, just some very light showers at the very most. So we do not see any rainfall for today. We'll see temperatures creeping up once the sun does rise, even though clouds are coming into the viewing area from the southwest. By mid-morning, we're jumping up into the 40s after starting out in the 20s and 30s. If you just woke up, yes, some of us are sub 30 degrees right now. We top out just higher, a little higher than yesterday. We'll be about 55, 58 degrees at most this afternoon. And again, we are going to have cloud cover in place, so it is not going to feel warm at any point, but it's also not going to be miserably cold, so thankful for that. And again, winds are a non-issue for today. Winds out of the north tomorrow morning. You see we wake up in the 30s once again, just slightly higher than what we're dealing with today because we're going to have cloud cover in the overnight hours. We top out about 58, 60 degrees as we roll on into tomorrow, and there's a 20% chance, particularly our far southern line of counties, for a couple of very, very light type of showers to move in. And again, that is a low end chance. So pretty calm and quiet, right, over the next couple of days. We do have another shot of cold air that is going to impact your forecast next week. It's going to happen over this upcoming weekend. It is a 3-day weekend. Lots of people have plans for MLK weekend every single year. I just want to notate it is going to be very, very cold, potentially extremely cold, even colder than the last blast last week. As we head on into Sunday is when we basically plummet. At this point, all models are in agreement that it is going to be very cold, especially the front half of next week. It's a little too early to tell you about the back half of next week because it's outside of the 7-day forecast. So our rain chances are right here. Wednesday, Friday, low end chances, cold plunge. It arrives Saturday, but a lot of our viewing area will hit high temperatures before we drop off temperature-wise and then stay at bay. I want to show you something right here briefly. When we do the viewing area, light widespread freeze. Wouldn't be surprised if there's some frost on the ground this morning. Feels like 23 in Temple right now. This is one of those mornings where I turn my car heater on. Like I woke up and saw how cold it was and was like, no, I'm not doing this. So I got the car warm and then went out to it. But 28 feeling like 23. So yeah, we've dipped down. I think we were at like 32 on the dot when I got here in the overnight hours. So we could still go down to around 26, 27 here in the overnight hours before the sun comes up. But under mostly clear skies, clouds will sneak in throughout the day today, partly to mostly cloudy skies. No chance for rain. Winds remain light. They are light right now and thankfully will remain light when we end up partly mostly cloudy this afternoon. In the 3 o'clock hour, we will be 55, 57 degrees, so just slightly warmer than what we saw yesterday. 50s, 60s in the 7-day forecast. Our 2 rain chances are slim for some light showers Wednesday and Friday. Out ahead of being in the 20s with no wind versus sitting in the 30s and it's super windy and just blowing in your face. I will take it. It's not windy this morning, so there's your positive news. Not so positive is what it feels like. We keep dipping up and down there in Killeen. We've been in the 20s, we've been in the mid 30s, now we're sitting right at 30 degrees. So yeah, it's sub 32 this morning, pretty much area wide with the exception of the Brazos Valley. Feeling like 20s and 30s as well, feeling like probably within about 2 degrees of the actual temperatures this morning because we don't have the wind chill factor as much. So that's a good news. 23 Marlin, it is 32 in Meridian, 36 in Burnett, 31 Georgetown. So 20s, 30s to start under mostly clear skies, but clouds are creeping in right now. This is your last chance to go check out that full moon. It still looks big and bright. Early this morning, I did get a chance to see it. You can see that clouds are sneaking in, but no green on that map. No chance for rain today, you guys. It'll be partly to mostly cloudy this afternoon. When we top out in the 3 o'clock hour, it will be about 55 to 57 degrees, so just a tick warmer than yesterday, and winds will be virtually non-existent out of the east throughout this afternoon. Once the sun goes down, we dip. Period here in Central Texas of the year where I call it a shoulder season. A lot of times you don't hear that here down in the south. You hear it in the mountains, but typically it's going to mean a roller coaster for us where you could look at a 7-day forecast and you're going to get a little bit of everything. You're going to have fronts hitting and things of that nature that knock things back, and then you try to rise back up and be above the norm. We're doing all of it over the next 7 days, you guys. Interesting forecast here. Now for today, extremely cold this morning. It feels like 23 degrees right now. Sitting at 28, and clouds are starting to sneak in from the southwest right now. Now winds are virtually non-existent this morning, so that's your good news. Yesterday morning it was quite breezy and made for a pretty potent wind chill factor. We don't have that in motion. Temperatures are just so low this morning, you guys. I was blasting the heater the whole way here. So all the layers for today, once again, 28 Marlin right now. It is 25 in Waco, down in the Brazos Valley, upper 30s for the most part, 29 over in Comanche. So light freeze area wide for most of us. 24-hour temperature change shows us, again, slightly colder than yesterday, up to 10 degrees colder than yesterday at this exact time. But we don't have the wind chill factor, so that's good news. Clouds are coming into the viewing area, but no rainfall. You see no green on this map here. So winds are going to be down, stay down throughout the day today, which means temperatures will warm up. However, we're not going to have the sun shining brightly on us, so it'll feel relatively cool. You could probably keep a light sweater on into this afternoon and not be too bothered. By mid-morning, we're jumping into the 40s. After that, we'll have several hours where we are above 50 degrees, but below 60. We're going to top out in the 3 o'clock hour, probably between 55, 57 degrees area wide. And yes, there's going to be some clouds sneaking on in. That is happening right now. Same thing in the overnight hours tonight, which means we wake up slightly warmer, but still probably upper 30s for tonight, tomorrow morning. We quickly jump back into the 50s tomorrow, and there is a 20% chance of isolated showers sneaking into primarily that chance would be for our southern counties. It would come in from the Gulf. So let's talk about the really interesting part. We warm up very slowly daily until Friday. Friday, we're going to be at like 68, 70 degrees, you guys. It's going to be very warm. Winds are going to kick up. It'll be windy Saturday. And a cold blast of air is going to come down. It's going to be as strong or stronger than the last one that we saw last week. It is going to make for temperatures plummeting into early next week. Again, that will arrive sometime on Saturday. Likely a lot of our viewing areas hitting high temperatures in the 50s and 60s, and then falls after that. We're only in the 40s Sunday, only in the 30s on Monday for the holiday. You guys want to stick with the 7-day forecast here in a second, I promise you. So that cold plunge will be here basically halfway through the weekend. It will be very chilly when you wake up on Sunday and stay that way at least for several days. So warming trend until Friday, and then we drop off after that, as you can see on the 7-day forecast here. 60s and 40s and then 30s. But no, yesterday morning you want your heaviest coat probably, at least for a few hours or so. It was mostly clear skies, some clouds starting to sneak in, upper level clouds from the southwest right now. But no chance for rain. We're just starting out very chilly, below the freezing point, as you can see. But no wind chill factor like what we had in motion yesterday. Only a slight difference between the temperatures and the feels like, but yeah, 20s, 30s for the entirety of the viewing area, the exception of College Station, which will quickly dip down into the 30s here shortly. 25 Waco, 27 Gatesville, 31 in Georgetown right now. It was mostly clear skies, like I was saying, but clouds are sneaking into the viewing area. It'll be partly to mostly cloudy skies throughout the morning and afternoon hours today, temperature wise. Yes, we're sub 32 right now, 40s mid-morning, 50s after that. For several hours post lunchtime will be about 55, 58 degrees at most, and winds will remain light out of the east, so not so bad for your Tuesday forecast. If you're going,
we need to know today.
Yikes. It feels like 23 in Temple right now, so very cold start to the day. Going to be relatively calm the next few days, but another big plunge of cold air is incoming. And they're not moving. That's the good news. We don't have so much of a wind chill factor. Looking out over Killeen right now, it is just 30 degrees. Some of the area down into the 20s, including Temple, Waco, sitting at 25 and 28, 40 College Station, 30 out in Hamilton. So 30s for the most part, and some folks down into the 20s this morning. Extremely cold here for the coming 3 hours or so. Once the sun comes up, eventually we will rebound nicely into this afternoon. 24-hour temperature change shows between about up to 10 degrees colder than yesterday morning. But yesterday morning we had a wind chill factor. This morning we don't, so pretty comparable overall. You can see some cloud cover sneaking in from the southwest. No chance for rain. You don't see any green on this map here, but we're going to see more clouds than we have the past few days. So we will not be sunny and 60 this afternoon. It'll be more like upper 50s, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Thankfully, we will not have a wind chill factor at all today. Even this afternoon, it's not going to be breezy out there. It'll feel like the actual temperatures in the 50s. You can see we jump up to 50 at lunch. Between now and then, we will be in the 40s basically all morning once the sun does rise. And high temperatures this afternoon between about 55 and 58 degrees. Again, partly to mostly cloudy skies, no rain. Tomorrow is very comparable to what we're seeing today. Winds will be out of the north, not too bad. We wake up in the 30s once again, but slightly higher than what we're waking up to today due to cloud cover that will be in place in the overnight hours tonight. So 30s to nearly 60 degrees again for tomorrow's forecast. 20% isolated showers are possible. Long-term temperature outlook, again, notating these dates right here. The cold plunge is coming. If you haven't heard about it quite yet, yes, it is going to get extremely cold once again, similar to what we saw last week, potentially even colder. And it is going to impact the holiday forecast. So Monday is Martin Luther King. A lot of people don't have school. It is going to be like 15, 20 degrees when we wake up Monday morning. I hate to tell you that, you guys. It is going to be very, very cold. But hey, if you like winter, and we do need the cold weather too. It can't only be comfortable. So it is basically the return of winter. It will arrive on Saturday, you guys, at some point. Likely we hit highs in the 50s and 60s and then plummet Saturday night and wake up Sunday cold and stay that way for at least several days. So warming trend, that is until Friday on the 7-day forecast. You could see upper 50s and then 60s approaching almost 70 Friday before we go like just 5:57 in the morning, y'all. It is so cold. We just dipped down to feeling like 18 degrees in Temple. Ew. If you can avoid it, don't go out. But I know my kiddos are about to wake up right now. Make sure they bundle up, at least for the front half of the day here. Obviously, it is very cold, well below freezing here in Temple, surrounding areas right now between right where we're situated in the middle 20s and middle 30s, area-wide freeze. Not so much this afternoon. It'll be mostly cloudy skies the next couple of days, and we'll top out in the upper 50s. Not so bad, right? All the way up to almost 70 on Friday, but like 18 degrees in Temple right now. Yikes! Not the best conditions, not so comfortable when you step outside, but it is winter after all. So rolling into this Tuesday morning, very, very cold. Partly cloudy skies in place. We had some clouds creep in here in the past few hours or so, but not too bad in terms of our winds this morning, only about 5 miles an hour. Will remain a non-issue into this afternoon as well. Currently feeling like teens to the freezing point area wide again. You probably want the heaviest coat that you have, and you'll also probably have the heater on full blast. I did this morning. 18 Temple, Marlin, 36 Burnett, 32 Hamilton, and 35 in Mejia for right now. So very cold to start. Sitting below freezing, feeling like below freezing, partly cloudy skies in place, some clouds pumping in from the southwest. However, no chance for rain, nothing to show you on radar. Temperature wise, we go up nicely into the mid to upper 50s this afternoon, about 57, 58 degrees in the 3 o'clock hour. Under partly to mostly cloudy skies, so the sun won't be shining brightly. What I'm saying this morning, and that is the primary weather story of the day. Going to be calm conditions, but it's just starting out very cold. It feels like teens sitting in the 20s in Temple, right at 30 on the dot in Killeen. So 20s, 30s for the most part to start in terms of our temperatures, even colder than yesterday morning. Thankfully, not too much of a wind chill factor. You cannot see those flags moving there. Looking out over Queens Airport, temperatures right now situate most of us below the freezing point with the exception of College Station. 25 in Waco, 25 Temple, 27 Gatesville for right now. Under partly cloudy skies, no chance for rain, anything like that. Winds will remain light into this afternoon, so that's good news. It doesn't help when the wind's blowing in your face, and it's also 20, 30 degrees. 24-hour temperature change shows a lot of us are comparable to yesterday morning, but some of us are up to 10 degrees colder. So that's why I'm grateful it's not also gusty out there, and won't be this afternoon either when we warm up into the 50s under partly to mostly cloudy skies. You can see in the overnight hours some clouds snuck into the viewing area, so upper level clouds will be hanging out throughout the afternoon hours. When we jump up, we'll have several hours between noon and 4 or 5 o'clock when the sun gets lower in the sky that we are sitting mid to upper 50s is where we're going to be situated. That is very close to the norm for this time of year. So calm and quiet weather pattern is what I'm saying. Back into the 30s in the overnight hours tonight. For the most part, I'd say 5 to 10 degrees above where we are this morning. That is because we're going to retain some of the daytime heat from today, tomorrow morning, due to the cloud cover that will be in place in the overnight hours tonight. So 30s to around 60 for tomorrow still. Most of us don't see rain tomorrow, just notating there's 20% isolated shower chance, primarily our far southern counties for that. And again, that's for tomorrow. A lot of us do not see that precipitation. All of us will see another blast of cold air. Wind, though, is going to be over this upcoming weekend. It will impact at least the front half of next week, including, yes, Martin Luther King. Big holiday coming up. A lot of folks don't have work, kiddos out of school. Just go ahead and notate. It is going to be extremely cold, especially that day. That is the last day in the 7-day forecast right now. So we're not going too much out further than that. So also can't tell you about any precipitation chances behind that. But we can tell you at this point, the long-term temperature outlook, all of them are agreeing that it is going to be very cold into next week, you guys. So just plan accordingly. Go ahead and notate. We're going to have some hard freezes. I'll show you just how hard, especially for the holiday here in just a second. Warming trend, that is today until Friday. Each and every day will go up to 3 degrees or so. So 50s today, tomorrow, eventually ending up in the 60s. Almost 70 degrees on Friday before we fall off temperature wise. Best chances for rain over the next 7. It's going to be tomorrow, and it's only 20% isolated showers, primarily south, and Friday as well. That cold plunge will arrive with a brisk northerly wind on Saturday. Depending on the timing is how high we'll get temperature-wise Saturday, looking like 50s, 60s. And then we wake up in the 20s, go up in the 40s for Sunday's forecast. I'll get out of the way. It's 18 degrees. Ooh. And some clouds snuck in the overnight hours. It will be partly to mostly cloudy skies, upper level clouds for that matter. Wind Winds not so bad, not too much of a wind chill factor. They started to go from basically calm to about 6-7 miles an hour in Temple, and all of a sudden it dropped from 25 feeling like 23 to 25 feeling like 18 here in Temple. So yeah, extremely cold start to the day. That is area wide. Most of us besides the Brazos Valley got a light freeze at least early this morning, feeling like 25 in Waco, 27 Hamilton, 37 in College Station for right now. So cold start to the day. No precipitation chance for today though. For this Taco Tuesday, you will just likely want a jacket. Even this afternoon when we top out in the 50s, you can see the cloud cover pumping in from the southwest. Yikes. Some clouds snuck in here in the past few hours or so, so partly cloudy sky, some upper level cloud cover in place, but no chance for rain today. These numbers will rebound. Eventually, it's going to take a little bit to do so, though. We are simply so cold to start. 25 Waco as well right now, 30 over in Hamilton, 36 in Centerville, so sub 32 degrees for most of the viewing area. And you can see I mentioned some clouds are sneaking on in. Primarily that is coming in from the southwest and will make for partly cloudy and then mostly cloudy skies into this afternoon. So with it not being straight up sunny like we've seen the past couple of days, when we are in the 50s this afternoon, it will feel a little bit cooler maybe, so I would recommend maybe a sweater or a light jacket and then something obviously heavier over it this morning. So a day of layers similar to what we've seen the past few days. Fast forward temperature wise for today, pretty calm and quiet. I mean, the main story is how cold we are feeling early this morning and that we're getting a freeze, but 50s by lunch, and then we have several hours where we are sitting in the 50s. Winds will shift out of the east and only be about 5 miles an hour. So winds virtually non-existent. That's a good best news I can give you for today. Not so bad, just very close to where we should be situated, close to the norms, both our lows and our highs for today. Mid to upper 50s this afternoon, about 57, 58 at most, and you can see those upper level clouds there. On Futurecast showing tomorrow morning, slightly warmer than this morning. Still will be chilly out there, you guys. It'll probably feel like mid 30s, be sitting in the mid to upper 30s for most of the viewing area. If our southern counties stay completely cloudy in the overnight hours, they may bottom out in the 40s tonight. Cloud cover does keep us slightly warmer. Typically tomorrow afternoon we may touch 60 degrees or be slightly below it, but very comparable to what we're seeing today. So next few days, calm and quiet with chilly mornings, warming up into the 50s each and every afternoon on a general warming trend between now and Friday before this right here. Long-term temperature outlook, all models now in agreement, so it is going to happen, is what I'm telling you. We are going to get very, very cold over the weekend. The timing on that front is going to be on Saturday. Depending on where you're at and when the front reaches you, is going to be, we could see some big temperature differences between our northern and southern counties, but for the most part, probably 50s, 60s for Saturday before we drop off in the PM hours and then struggle to rebound whatsoever after that. I'll show you the 7-day forecast here in a second, show you just how cold we're going to get. But warming trend between now and Friday. Our best chances for rain are slight. Tomorrow, 20% isolated showers for our far southern counties. Doesn't look like we're going to get much Friday either. Cold plunge will arrive on Saturday. Saturday is going to be a windy day. We may top out around 60 before we drop and we stay down. I'm going to get out of the way so that
This is Whitney Huddleston.
So cold, you guys. It feels like 20 degrees, sitting at 27 in Temple. Area wide light freeze early this morning, but now that the sun is coming up, we will get better as the hours go on, I promise you. We end up in the middle to upper 50s under partly to mostly cloudy skies this afternoon, so more cloud cover than what we were seeing yesterday, just a day of layers. Same thing essentially for tomorrow. A couple of light showers could sneak into our southern counties, but for the most part, a pretty dry 7-day forecast. It's too early to tell you quite yet about precipitation, but I can tell you